Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. We are going to be working on day 2 or story 2 for my December daily. I have my foundation page, which was a stitching project I did based off of the prep party where everyone else was doing stamping, but I'm not a stamper, so I went ahead and did stitching instead. And I'm going to match that with these photos here. I've got the one of Sean putting up the lights on our house before it started to snow. This is a pre-December story. I have one of me with the reflection putting up the decorations in the house. And then I also have the journaling. This cute little Christmas tree and lights that I thought I would use because I'm going to do a flip. So here's what it looks. I have a fun little wreath and then my little outdoor display. So I just wanted to have a little picture of that. And then this is what my shelf with our stockings look like this year. And you can see the Christmas tree in the mirror. So that is what the story is about. It would flip like this. I am going to trim it down. It's a little too large. And I'm not sure if I'm going to make it a full slide out so that my journaling can also be in as well, or if I'm going to find some pattern paper and pull in some of this. Now these are from Shadney's Etsy shop and it was the Christmas advent this year. So I'm pulling the one from Christmas lights and the ornaments. And they each come with 2 cards and then some fun things inside as well. So I thought I could use this one. I'd have to cover up the lines because my journaling will go this way. But I thought I could do that possibly. I'm wondering if it's a little too many lights. I'm not sure. We'll see. But maybe with the 2, it might not be that bad. I don't know. We will see. But I have other options too, thinking of a pattern paper. But I also have this cute little string of lights that was in the lights one that I thought I could use somewhere. Maybe I can put it on my number or something. I don't know, but I've got those as well. I think my first decision is going to be what I'm going to go ahead and do with that. I would like to bring ahead some of the stitching in to both like the other side as well. So I was watching Allie do her day too, and she did some stitching on her photos. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I was thinking maybe doing a page protector slide in, and I could stitch around that and then stitch around here, and then maybe add like a star or something on this one, and then a star or something like up here, and maybe one right there. So we'll see. I haven't gotten that far, but that's my initial plans. So let's kind of see if I can find some pattern paper, create this little flip book, and see what I can come up with.
All right, so the first thing I am going to do is trim my photo down a little bit. It's was printed at 5x7, but then it had some white little lines as well. So now it's true, I think by 6. I'm not sure. It's true to the page protector though. So we're good with that. We're going to trim that out, figure out what I'm going to do. I found a transparency that has the stars. Now this is not from this year's December daily. It must have been last year's or the year before, but I did love the idea of the star and then using one of this year's really awesome plastic words, really large words. This one says twinkle, which works with the fact that Sean's hanging out lights. Wasn't actually my plan for that word. If you had watched my foundation page, you know I had a different plan for it, but you know what, I'm trying to make it work, and we're gonna go with it. I had looked at the option of doing white versus black cardstock with that transparency and the word, but I decided that I like the idea of black. It helped the gold kind of stand out with the stars, and then the twinkle as well. It just looked better. When you can see the photo, the full page photo, you'll see that Sean is wearing a black sweatshirt, and so it just kind of helped tie that all in. And then of course the photo on the front side is black and white, so again, just keeping it all legit in the same and doing what I wanted to do. So now we get to do some stitching, and I did a lot of it, and it took me quite a while to do. So the first thing I decide is that I'm going to find 3 of the stars in the transparency, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch 3 of them, so I have a nice visual triangle in red because I liked how you could see the word hulls that was stitched down at the bottom in red. I'm going to bring that in. Of course, the number 2 is red, so that was my decision there. I'm also going to then stitch this page protector that I'm using, and I'm going to stitch around it in red as well, which means I have to cut these 3x4 cards down a bit so that they'll fit into the 3x4 page protector with the stitching. So my trick for that one is you find the piece that can be trimmed down the least amount, trim that one down first, and then all the other ones will be fine because you've already picked the hardest one to trim down, and it should work. And it does, it fits. I'm gonna go ahead and poke some holes in that as well. I did trim the card, the page protector down a little bit too, so that the card comes in and out a lot easier. I will say a couple things. First of all, you could do this by just using one sheet of that plastic. You don't need the actual page to it, unless your plan was to actually pull the whole thing out, which was my plan. And I wasn't really sure. My thought here was that I was going to use this 4th photo, so I needed the whole thing to come out. But I also wanted you to see the whole photo if you so choose. Like, there's nothing to it where I'm covering it up. It's literally some old shoes that we sit out and use when we need to run outside quickly. There's a line of shoes there, and the table that the lights are sitting on, the second string of lights that are sitting on, that goes around the other side of the house. But there's nothing else. Like, the photos aren't covering up anything else, so it's not like it couldn't have been covered up permanently. But while I was creating this in my mind, I needed to make sure that you could see it if you wanted to. And so I just left it as the page, and I will stitch it. And then you have the choice of when you put it back down, you can put the whole pocket flip into the page, or you can just do half of it. And I just gave myself that ability. I don't know why I was being so stubborn with it. And I probably made it harder for myself than I needed to be. But it's what was in my head at that moment, so that's what I went with. And I guess maybe it would have involved some more cutting if I had wanted to just use that one sheet. So it's fine. It totally works. Just funny, the little things that we do. And you don't really think about it until afterwards. And you're like, I didn't need to do that. Kind of like on my very first day where I stitched where I didn't need to stitch because I didn't take that extra second. So it's all good. We talked about that. All right, here I go. I'm just doing a simple back stitch, nothing exciting. Anyone can do this. You just punch some holes and then stitch back and forth until you reach the end of your holes. It's very, very easy. Nothing to be intimidated by. So if you'd like to add a little bit of stitching and it scares you, that might be a good way to do it, is maybe add a couple lines somewhere and go that way. My next thing is deciding if my photo, this large photo, is going to be like out of the pocket. It's going to be out of the pocket, but if it's going to be out of the pocket without a page protector, or glued down, taped down to a page protector, so that it's got the holes already there, the reinforcement holes and everything, without cutting into the photo and where I put the pocket. My decision to that was to do that because I put my pocket too close to the end, so it would have cut into it. And I wasn't messing with that, so we're going to just leave it taped to the outside of this page protector, which is fine because I already have a plan for my day 3, and it'll involve a full page anyways. Now we're looking, as you can see, taking another nod from Allie to use that wood veneer star as my turning part to this middle one. So I'm thinking about that. I looked at it. I'm pretty happy with that decision, but before actually gluing anything down, I was smart and I did take a minute to stitch the outside. I just did a little border to my photo, and then I did those 3 red stars like I was talking about. I just stitched outside the stars, and now I'm going to use a different color thread to stitch that word twinkle on and add a little bit of embellishing, because we now basically have the idea of this layout done. Like, it's pretty much there. So all I have left to do is add these little finishing touches of embellishments, and I can finally call this one done. There's not a lot to it. I mean, it does look pretty simple when you look at it all together, but adding all that stitching, and then I'm going to add this little string of lights. It did take a minute, and I feel like this layout took me forever, even though there wasn't much to it. That being said, I really love it. I love how you have to flip things out and there's a pocket that you have to like flip up, and I really love it. Simplistic. I love that hand stitching that I did. I'm glad I did that beforehand because otherwise this layout would have taken me a million years, but it's really cute and I'm so happy with how it turned out. And it's really fun to get inspiration from other people while you're watching December Daily, and then be a translator of ideas, as Ali likes to call it, and turn it into your own layouts in your own style and what works for you. And I love that. I ended up doing that by stitching my vellum word. It's the one that has all the Christmas saying songs on them. So I picked one that I felt was going to work for it. And I actually just stitched it on so that I had an issue with glue on my title page. My red line it still made it really hard to read and it was dark. So I thought I'd try stitching and see how that one worked out. And I'm happy with this one. So that was really cool. Got another hint of stitching on it. And everything just kind of comes together. So thank you so much for watching this. If you stayed through this whole video with me, I know I told you this was going to be a two-part video and it didn't turn out that way. But the good news is I already have the photos printed for day 3, and it actually is going to be quick because it's simply just sliding things in, doing a little bit of embellishing, and adding a place to add some journaling. So here's a look at what it looks like all finished with all that fun stitching, and I hope you liked it. I'll see you guys all again in the next couple days with my day 3 and hopefully day 4 story. And yeah, I hope you all are having a great week. I feel like this week is taking forever. I feel like it should be Friday. It's only Wednesday, but we're going to get through it. We're almost there. Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.